For me, the bigger question is like, what are the next best steps to scale? Yeah, I request from my tarot cards a lot.
Idea is that you choose one card and you tell me, you guide my hands as if were yours. What do you want me to do?
Birds. I had a dream a couple nights ago about a hummingbird kissing my fingertips.
Hmm. We're here for the tarot coaching session. It's very simple. It consists of two parts. First of all, we agree upon a question you ask. And the question has to be outcome based. So something you want more of, or something you want more clarity on, or anything that you want to have insight on, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And I help you. And I help you to get to the question if you don't have one already. And that's the first part of it. Make sure that there is a question that leads you, the question whose answer will lead you to something that you want.
Okay. And should the question be broad, specific? I've done lots of tarot readings, so I'm curious. I just want to know how you do it.
So the more specific, the better, in a sense, because the answer will be more specific.
Okay.
But
Cool.
the idea is that we both agree upon that end of the first stage, we both agree upon this is a good question. Let's proceed.
Okay. Okay, cool.
And it varies. Sometimes it's very specific. Sometimes it's a little bit vague, but still specific enough. And the second part will be where you will pick a card. So I have a deck of cards here. You will pick one, or you will guide me to pick a card. So you will tell me what to do with the deck, either shuffle or cut or put it on table, and you basically count, let's say count 10 cards down from top or whatever. You will guide me how to choose a card.
Okay.
I'll pick one card, and then I will put it on a screen share, and you will talk, and you will describe what you see in the card, what it reminds you, and if there's any memory, and then we'll figure out the answer.
Okay. Okay, awesome. And for you, like, I know this is getting recorded. Like, do you use this content somewhere, or is it?
I will use it, yes.
Okay.
Probably on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Awesome. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Awesome. So do you have any question?
Phone's on airplane. It's coming on anyway. Hang on. Let me get that out of there. Yeah, I would say, how could I specify the question? Getting clear on a decision about joining a specific group.
It's okay. This is a very good question in a sense, because I will give you feedback what I think about the question. So I don't really need to know the specific group, but we both know that you know which group it is. So that's a good question. So that part is clear. So because I know how tarot cards work, so basically, is it a yes/no question or what?
It
Or
could
how
be. I'm also thinking we could ask, like, it's interesting because tarot. Let's see. Like, for me, the bigger question is like, what are the next best steps to scale? So those are the questions. Like, is this the group? Is this group the right move, or is what's the highest move right now in the highest good of all? Me enjoying growing my business in my zone of genius. and connecting with the most people and making the biggest impact possible. Like what's needs to be known there would be the broader question.
Okay, I actually like the broader question more because
Okay.
because sounds like you're not entirely sure which is the next best move, and you're not entirely committed to any. I hear that you have a couple of options you kind of
Yeah.
considering, and there might be some you're not considering yet. So I think this is the more better question, because the previous one more like yes or no question. Yes or no question doesn't really help people. It's
Yeah.
because there
Got
might be
it.
something else in the first place. So okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
your
So it's
question
more
is what?
like opening the door to what's possible in the highest good of all. And I'm open. I would like insights into how to, like insights into the direction to go.
So how would you formulate it in one single question? Because you had like two variations of it. I want to hear like
Yeah. I would say give me insight into it is interesting to articulate that question. The next best move to scale and make the most impact.
So you said give me insights in next best move to scale and make the biggest impact.
Yeah.
Is that a question? I'm just teasing you here.
Yeah, asking for insight to me is a question. Like asking for me to see what I don't know.
No, I'm just teasing you because grammatically it's not a question. It's a statement.
Yeah. Well, insight is a question. Give me insight is a question.
No, it's
It's a
not.
request. It would be
It's
a
a request. It's a
request.
request, but it's not a question.
Yeah.
You see the difference? It's a request. It's not a question. So question
Yeah.
would be, what would be the insight, or
Sure. Yeah.
what's the insight?
Yeah. Yeah. Give me insight is a declaration or
Yeah,
a request.
exactly.
Yeah. I request from my tarot cards a lot.
Okay, let's go with that. Usually I form it as a question, but let's say that's let's go with a statement. It's the first time for me. Okay,
Okay.
we have a
Ooh,
statement. A statement for a card. Cards request. So the next thing, I'm gonna tilt my
interesting.
camera, and you have a deck of cards in front of you, and you tell me what to do. You want me to shuffle it? I can shuffle it for you. I can uh, put it in as many piles as you want. Idea is that you choose one card, and you tell me. You guide my hands as if were yours. What do you want me to do?
Okay. And we're just choosing one card.
For the moment, just one. If you need more than one, we choose more afterwards.
Okay. So then for one, I'd say split the deck in half
Is that
and
okay,
pick.
or want me to do something else?
Nope. That's great. And then pick the top card
This one?
from yep.
So this one.
Yep.
I'm pulling this away. I reveal the card. This is the card, and I'm searching now for the screen share so I can put it on higher detail. And now from now
Okay.
on, your so like let me find the computer first. Yeah. So your task will be to describe whatever you see in a card, whatever memory or association it causes you. And if the memory or association is private, you feel free to not to reveal it to everyone, but to make a note, because that's very important to the answer.
Okay.
So yeah, just talk about your thoughts, emotions, and feelings caused by this card, which will show up on our screens. Do you see it now?
Yep.
So talk. And every time you stop talking, that means you're overthinking, and I want you to continue talking till you say that I'm done.
Okay. So growth.
Go for it. So talk.
Yeah, so I mean for me I love that that's the card because my birthday is tomorrow and my request my request and my like I usually do a yearly, kind of like what's the theme of this year, and it's like consciousness, like consciousness,
Mhm.
growth of my business, growth of my heart, growth of love, growth of clarity, growth of just like knowing myself better, teaching more powerfully, coaching more powerfully, which is all growth related. And I love that it's in nature because I love nature and birds. I had a dream a couple nights ago about a hummingbird kissing my fingertips,
Hmm.
and it was so wild. So I love that a bird showed up and nature. I don't know if the number 9 means anything to me. So 9 of discs. I would think of abundance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if 9 means anything to me at this moment. Yeah, that's
Keep on
nothing's
talking.
coming
If you cannot,
there.
if it's not coming, it's not coming.
Yeah, I like the colors. Venus energy to me would be like feminine, coming into feminine softness. The card is very soft to me. Like it seems really soft and light and feminine, flowery, nature, spending time in nature. I would, to me, this would be feedback for spending more time in nature in order to grow. Virgo is interesting. Like in that way, I would think about my oldest daughter is a Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
So there would be connections there, helping, like growing with her, something about growing in with her. I would say in regards to things I've been considering in business, to me, this card says to go in the direction of playfulness
Mm-hmm.
versus seriousness. Like nature to me is my like safe, heavenly, fun, playful space. Like I love nature so much, and it's my playground. So it would say to me, based on getting this card in response to that question, would be do what's playful.
Do you have any playful options at the moment from the things that are in your horizon?
Yes. And in terms of the first question I asked, to me, this card would be a no,
Mm.
which is interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Playful to me, this relates to being out of my office more
Mm-hmm.
and being more interactive with things that bring me it's interesting because I have so much joy in my business and in the things I do. And that at the end of the day, sometimes I'm like, I would like to be away from my computer more. So I'd say it's like more interaction
Mm-hmm.
and more playfulness. It's interesting that it's in nature because I'm like, I don't really see how I would do my business in nature, but but like perhaps it just has to do with going to a place that causes me to feel playful, which would be more interaction with people
Mm.
in person.
I would love to hear more about the dream you said about the bird.
Oh yeah, I know. It was so cool. If you know how to interpret dreams, I would love it.
I can.
It was really interesting. I've had two very significant hummingbird dreams, and this one was a while back, and this one was this week. And it was in my dream. I don't remember who I was with, but I was walking around in nature, and there were tons of hummingbirds, and it was kind of scary. It was like because they're fast and they move fast, and then I just slowed down and I was like, wait, let me connect with the hummingbirds. And I put my hand up in the air and like this, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, I like called this hummingbird to me. It was like blue and white and gray, and it came and it was like tapping, like kissing my finger with its beak.
Yeah.
And then I started moving around and like dancing with it, and then
Uh-huh.
it did it on every fingertip. It was like it, and then I woke up and I woke up. I was like, I've got to remember this dream. That was so cool. So yeah, that was the dream.
Awesome. Do you see the life lesson from the dream?
I've been sitting with it. I was for me, I was looking at. I mean, definitely nature and just joy and playfulness if to me it felt like super abundant and very like communing with nature, enjoy nature, be in nature. And a couple weeks ago I had a session with a psychic who said pay a lot of attention to birds,
Mm.
and like birds have a lot of meaning for you. And so I was like, oh cool, that's really cool that dream came. And so to me it was like confirmation that I'm on the right track. I was wanting to understand the meaning of the 4. I wasn't sure about that.
What about
um
four? The four fingers?
like yeah, the 4 fingers, like it was so specific, and it didn't do the thumb, it was like the 4
Mhm.
fingers, and so I was like, huh, interesting. And it started on the index finger, those things seemed somewhat significant because it was like I was like guiding it and we like danced together, and then it just like moved with me. It was cool.
Well, my first impression was regarding your dream, a significant thing that like a life lesson. You said you had this almost like overwhelm of abundance, And what you did, you slowed down to tune into it. Because most of the times when people get overwhelmed, they get stressed, they do the opposite. They try to catch things and then they lose. And what you did is, it sounds like advice for what you do. Like when there's so many opportunities around you, what you really need to do is slow down, take a couple of breaths, and kind of tune into what's happening around you. And then people who need to find you will find you, like the hummingbird. You kind of tune into a specific hummingbird, or I don't remember specific details, but sounded like either you tuned to something specific, or someone just found you and chose you. So one of those two. But regardless, slowing down
Hmm.
into nature and kind of harmonizing yourself was the key.
Like
Does that
that.
make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yep, definitely.
And I also
I
love
mean,
the theme here. Like same as we have this card, you were nature. There also was nature.
yeah, yeah, I like that too. It's and a
And
bird in it, it's like, oh, interesting. It's very resonant with that dream. And it's interesting, like in the card, she's holding her hand up, right?
yeah,
Like, and connecting with the bird. Like, so it's very, yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. I
so what
really
do you think?
appreciate that insight, like because that's something I've been playing with a lot, is slowing down to tune into my heart and my intuition. And it sometimes it doesn't make logical sense,
Mhm.
and it always feels right.
Do you do it
And
regularly? Do you have a
say it
regular
again.
do you have a regular practice of slowing down, tuning into?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I do a lot of meditation and journaling and breathing and hiking, and yeah, definitely. And I would say more and more, it's for me, it's like I've been tuning into exactly that, where it's like I choose to slow down even when life gets crazy and you think you don't have time for it. This is the thing that is the most nurturing and beneficial and impactful, because I get grounded and centered, and then I can attract opportunities my way easily instead of forcing and fighting.
Have you seen it working for you as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. It
And
feels
are you?
scary sometimes, because like there's that addiction to being busy and
Mm,
thinking that I always need to be doing something. So I've been playing a lot with like even just laying on the couch and doing nothing for
mhm,
10 minutes, which is challenging for me.
yeah.
Like I'm a go, and so it's like when I'm in nature, I don't feel that way because I'm hiking or, I'm doing something. So it's like even just sitting and just being.
Mhm,
And then even when I'm meditating, there's like a purpose for it, right? You're
mhm.
meditating. So it's like just sitting and doing nothing is a practice for me.
I wanted to ask you, are you doing these practices of slowing down, going to nature with intention to grow your business, or there's different intention behind?
Say when I go in nature, the intention is to grow my business. It's more just self-care and like
Mhm,
I mean, my values are so aligned that everything grows my business, because
mhm,
it's like I nurture it a lot, and I consider a
mhm,
lot. Like often when I'm hiking, I'm listening to podcasts and like listening to books, or like meditating. I'm it's always there, so I don't know that I can separate it necessarily. But I don't go on a hike and go like, I'm going to go on this hike to grow my business. I go on the hike and I go, oh, I'm ready to play in nature and see what happens, see what unfolds. And it is a place where I get the greatest connection to myself, which always leads to understanding and clarity for me.
mm. Interesting that when I started hiking, I also in the beginning started, I was listening to podcasts and all these things. However, at some point, I discovered that for me personally, listening to something else while hiking kind of disconnected me from the nature in a part way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I sometimes still do listen to something on boarding spots, like when I'm still in the city, when I'm getting out of the city, or and those parts. But when I'm actually getting to the juicy parts of the trail, where it's actually nature, then I'm inclined to not to listen to anything, and then I feel more
Yeah.
connected. And regarding the intention, I would be just curious to invite you for experiment to have a couple of hikes with intention of growing, with intention to have insight to grow business, but in a way that you set intention for the hike in the beginning, but as you're hiking, you forget about it completely. You just enjoy yourself, connect to yourself. And
Yeah.
then see by the end of the hike, you have an insight.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing a similar thing for myself for my yoga practice. So I set intention doing yoga practice for having an insight. And then during the practice, I don't really have to bother about insight, but somehow during the practice, insight comes.
Yeah.
Even though it's a self-care practice, even though everything is the primary objective is a self-care, like when I'm doing it, when I'm in the process. But before the process, I dedicate it. So I am set intention for this container as a secondary
Yeah.
shell.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, to me, what's coming when you say this is just the power of setting intention, you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I don't typically do on a hike because for me, the intention is like, I'm ready to go play in the woods,
Yeah.
you know,
And it doesn't
whatever that
remove
looks
that either.
like.
It doesn't
Yeah.
remove that either, you know?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
have both. Why not have
Yeah,
both?
totally. Yeah. And it's amazing because for me, when I do hike and run, I did like trail running and hiking and like bought a house specifically near trails so that I could do that on a regular basis. And I love it. It's like where I have the most insights and perspectives, and almost always, I mean, often relationship wise or parenting wise or what, you know, but it's like business wise for sure. You know, it's like some of my greatest ideas come when I'm on the trail. And I'll be there listening, and then like half the time I'll turn the podcast off because I'm like processing and, you know, yeah. So it's to me, it's like a dance with nature and myself. Yeah, it's good.
I would also love to explore more of the bird symbolism. I'm curious what because you had this threefold pattern here. You said there's a bird in the card, you had a dream with the bird, and you had a psychic mentioning birds. So what do birds mean to you personally? What are they representing?
You know that it's interesting because I don't think I had thought about. I mean, I love nature and I'm always paying attention to birds. So, but I hadn't, you know, like what is the symbolism of a? I could think hummingbirds specifically. I think a lot about abundance, freedom, you know, power. I mean, they're like powerful little creatures. Hummingbirds are incredible to me.
Mhm.
Actually just read they can fly 2,500 miles without stopping for food. Like that's insane, you know, like that's really cool. And they're just beautiful and they're elegant and fast at the same time, you know. So it's like hummingbirds specifically have a, you know, unique, and in my yard where I live, we're back to 3/4 of an acre and we have a lot of birds, and hummingbirds come a lot. So I think that you know that has a lot of meaning to me. Birds in general I think of as, you know, it's like definitely freedom.
Mhm.
Freedom is what comes to mind first, is how I think of birds, like freedom and perspective. You know, they've got like the bird's eye view, so it's like they've got a lot of perspective and they've got a lot of freedom. That's those are the first things that come to me.
Awesome. So any of the choices you have right now align with these values for the next step?
Definitely. I would say everything. You know, it's like everything that I'm creating in my business right now is all about how do I create the most freedom for myself by doing things I truly, deeply love, and then help other people create freedom, whatever that means to them. You know, and it's where was the shift with my brand. It was like away from just money, because money isn't freedom is what people want. It's not money necessarily. Money might give you freedom, so people think, but it's it's about it's about freedom and fulfillment, whatever that means to you as a unique human in your business. But and that perspective piece is like higher consciousness, you know, and seeing things from all angles. That's like, you know, in relationship to birds, it would be like they're seeing so many angles with that bird's eye perspective. And so, you know, when things come my way, I've really been practicing, and this has been a practice for many years now, but I would say it's getting deeper and deeper lately, which is like slow down and see it from all sides. There's much more to this picture than the immediate reaction, you know. So it's like slow down, see it from all sides, see it from all angles, sit with it, you know, like don't just react, instead respond and really And to me, it's like, I teach that and I know that logically, but it's like the difference between knowing it and doing it. And I've really been integrating it lately. Like when things upset me, I'll go on a 5-mile hike and be like, okay, let's sit with this instead of talking to anyone or doing anything about it. Like, let's just be with this information and feel, and be, and then see what comes. And to me, that's like a bird has high perspective, and is that would be the relationship that I could think of in terms of birds specifically.
Awesome. I think that kind of summarizes the whole answer to your question. Don't you see?
Yeah.
So if you got to summarize the answer to your request, give me insights in the best next move to scale and make the biggest impact. So what would be your summary?
Play more. Slow down, take space for play, make space for play, enjoy nature. Nature gives you the answers. So, and really it's like the communing with nature gives me the answers, because it's my interaction with nature that helps me draw out the answers from within.
It's funny because it almost sounds like this tarot card is saying, you're asking the wrong person for the insights. Go out in nature. Don't ask me.
You're reminding me.
Yeah, it's like reminding me. Wrong person. Go out.
Yeah. Well, and you know what, though? That's the truth for everybody, right? Like, I always train my people to be like, hey, you have the answer. I'm just helping you get to it. Like, we all have the answers from within. It's always from within. It's filtering out the muck to be able to hear and experience the answer, and then having the courage to follow through on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you feel like
thank
you have an answer for your question?
Yes, I would say it's forthcoming, because it means when I have a question, spend time with myself in nature and the answer will be there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Good
Thank you.
reminder.
My pleasure.